Hello everyone, it's 2009 here, and welcome to another video. As I said in the last video like this, 2025 marks the anniversaries of several Thomas films, one of them being Thomas and the Magic Railroad, which first came to cinemas on the 14th of July 2000, and in this video I'm going to re-watch the film and see how well it's held up after 25 years. Just a bit of personal background. In my play school there were two Rio Thomas engines which are Splatter and Dodge, which I actually own now. I didn't know who they were, I couldn't read their nameplates, I'd never seen them before. I simply just thought they were Ari and Bert with different paintwork. I mean, that wasn't that far off because Splatter and Dodge did reuse Ari and Bert's TV props. I only found out who they were when someone who knew joined the play school, who had seen Magic Railroad and told me they were entirely different characters. He invited me into his house to watch the film, and I loved it. And now that aside, let's get into it. Something I love about this film is its soundtrack. Hummingman did a really good job with it, and I don't know about you, but I just adore the whistle sound effects here, and all of the other random ones in the background. Now we get introduced to Diesel 10, he just looks so cool. He's supposed to look normal, and have the claw come out of his roof, but they couldn't do this for engineering reasons, but I think the final design looks brilliant. I can immediately tell that this guy is the bad guy. Just something I noticed is that Diesel 10 is only referred to as Diesel 10 once in the entire film. Everyone just calls him Diesel, which is weird because there already is a character called Diesel in the show. As for the voice cast, I actually really like it. It was the first time in English that Thomas had a full voice cast. Michelangelo's always been my favourite voice for Thomas, but the voice cast here did a really good job, especially Eddie Glenn as Thomas. This film was a crossover between Thomas the Tank Engine and Friends and Shining Time Station. To be honest, these are two worlds that should never collide. But this film isn't canon, so it's fine. Speaking of that, I think this film was only truly enjoyable if you know that it's a completely separate canon to the rest of the show. Now we get introduced to Lady. I think it's strange that Lady has no proper basis, but seems to have this really tragic backstory which is actually quite dark for Thomas. Another thing I want to point out is the cast of this film. Alec Baldwin does a great job as Mr. Conductor, and I really like him in this. In a lot of franchises, the special effects usually haven't aged very well, but the effect of Mr. Conductor being toy-sized actually looks very convincing. The blend with the humans and the props is weird, but I wouldn't say it looks bad or aged badly or anything. We also have Peter Fonda as Burnett Stone. Something I only noticed now is that when Burnett is remembering Tasha, you can actually hear the instrumental of the deleted song Some Things Never Leave You, and again when Burnett takes off after retrieving Lily from Stacy. And you can hear it in full on a radio when Burnett is sitting by the fire. Then we get introduced to Lily, who is played by Mara Wilson, one of the big 90s child stars. I believe this was actually her last ever movie. Most people, including me, find it strange that Edward isn't in this film. It said there wasn't anything for him to do in the film, but I think he should have been the one who told the other engines about Lady instead of Henry. Another thing I noticed is the poster with the Fat Controller pointing saying Sir Topham needs you. Is this supposed to be a reference to that famous World War I poster? Also, I want to mention that the scene where the Fat Controller's face in the picture changes really used to freak me out when I was younger. Later in the film, we see Lily on a train, and we get to hear the masterpiece of I Know How the Moon Must Feel. This song is beautiful. I'm not even kidding when I say this, I want this played at my funeral. Another song in this film is a new version of Really Useful Engine. I really like it. Is it wrong to say that I might prefer this to the original? There is one scene that just tells me that Diesel 10 is evil. He picks up Mr. Conductor and threatens to throw him off a bridge. This is quite a lot for a children's movie, and oh my god, Mr. Conductor just flipped me off. Okay, yeah, I'm really starting to doubt the U rating this film got. As well, throughout the film, Diesel 10 destroys scaffolding on Tinder's shed, destroys a shed in the smelter's yard, kidnaps Junior and tries to kill both him and James. I don't think you could have a villain like Diesel 10 in a children's film today. Much later in the film, when Thomas goes through the magic buffers, is really the only part of the film where it shows its age. It took me several years to notice that Thomas is full CGI in this scene, and now I know it's pretty obvious and I can't unsee it. Now, I can't make this video without talking about the director's cut. I can definitely see why they cut these scenes out. However, I think they make the overall story make a lot more sense. In the final cut, Thomas just falls off the mountain because of the wind, but in the director's cut, it's because Boomer blew up the mountain. And something that was shown a lot more in the director's cut, but still in the final cut, is that Muffle Mountain just looks beautiful. The crew really used the Isle of Man to their advantage for this film. I would say the director's cut is better if you want a good film to watch, but the final cut is better as a Thomas film. And then the big chase, the most exciting scene in the whole film. Diesel 10 chases Thomas and Lady, but then he falls off the viaduct and into a barge. And then the happy ending. Overall, I would say this film has held up okay over the last 25 years. It would look very out of place if it were to be released today. Most of the special effects have aged pretty well, and it has also come to my attention that Lady's TV prop has recently been added to the Discover Thomas Friends exhibition at Drayton Manor, most likely to celebrate the 25th anniversary of Magic Railroad. As I said earlier, you have to accept this film is a separate canon to everything else, and with that in mind, this is still a really enjoyable film. Apart from the fact that it came out in 2000, it is definitely one of those feel-good 90s movies. It might be one of the dumbest things I've ever said. And with that, I want to thank all of you for watching, see you in the next video, and goodbye for now.